Reggae Just Extra with Ras Dennis.
In the 1970s, when political turbulence threatened to shake the core of the nation, Jamaica, a number of political enforcers and henchmen came to the fore. It was an era when political representatives armed their constituents and used the strong arms and ruthlessness of the political enforcers to bring out voters and ensure that constituents toed the line. One of the most infamous and feared of the political enforcers of that decade was the Tivoli Gardens Don, Claudius Mossop, Bob Marley's friend. Mossop had risen through the ranks of the criminal underworld to become one of the most feared names in Western Kingston. My name is Ras Dennis, and you are welcome back to another crucial video by Reggae Just Extra.
You are now watching Reggae Just Extra's Claudius Mossop's edition.
Claudius Mossop was the leader and the strongman of the Phoenix Gang or Shower Posse that controls Tivoli Gardens, Wellington Street, Rema, Denham Town, and the surrounding areas of West Kingston, Jamaica. Kindly stay tuned and do remember to subscribe to this channel, like, share, and most importantly hit the notification bell to be the first to watch our next video.
This is the place to be for your reggae gist, facts, and culture.
A quick look at the Claudius Mossop's profile. He was born on April 16, 1949, in West Kingston's Denham Town. He spent his early life in petty criminal activity, mostly as a street hustler and pimp. He then moved into building contractor work as the chief contractor. By the time he was 18, 1967, he was already the acknowledged leader of what would later become known as the infamous Shower Posse, a gang that was later headed by Lester Lloyd Jim Brown Coke. Jim Brown was the father of Christopher Dudas Coke, another Kingston's Kingpin who is currently serving 23 years in prison in the United States of America. In 1976, a state of emergency was called by the then Prime Minister, Michael Manley, in the face of rising political tension. Supporters of then opposition leader Edward Seaga's Jamaica Labour Party and Manley's People's National Party engaged in a bloody political struggle, which began before the 1976 election and ended after the JLP won the 1980 election. While the violent political atmosphere had its genesis in conflicts between the parties from as early as the beginning of the two-party system in the 1940s, political violence spiraled out of control in the 1970s. 500 persons, including Mossop and other prominent members of the JLP, among them Colonel Charles and Olivia Babsy Grange, were accused of trying to overthrow the government and were detained, without charges. Mossop was released when the state of emergency was lifted in January 1977. At the time, he was 29 years old, and immediately became the top henchman in his home base of Tivoli Gardens. Police records show that Mossop had a long history of run-ins with the law. He was arrested on several counts of murder, illegal possession of firearm, shooting with intent, driving without a driver's license, and perjury. However, Mossop was only incarcerated once for illegal possession of a firearm. In Tivoli Gardens, Mossop was known to be a tough enforcer who was not afraid to discipline anyone who fell out of line, and is remembered for his strict, no-nonsense attitude. Although, some people said, he was a nice person who anyone could approach, and does not take kindly to rapists and petty thieves. However, one former cop described Mossop as a heartless killer whose political connections sometimes rendered police officers powerless to apprehend him.
You are now watching Reggae Just Extra's Claudius Mossop's edition.
But as time passed, and Mossop matured, he made moves to organize a peace initiative between Tivoli Gardens and the hotbed of Matthews Lane, which was then ruled by PNP enforcer Aston Bucky Marshall Thompson. As leaders of their respective communities, both men organized meetings and negotiated a peace which became official on January 9, 1978 when Mossop and Marshall met at the intersection of Oxford and Beeston Streets, the official line of demarcation between both communities, and signed a peace treaty according to a report in the Daily Gleaner in February 1979. After the signing of the peace treaty, street dances, which were often the targets of vicious gun attacks, were held without incident in sections of the volatile constituency. Both enforcers were also responsible for organizing the famous One Love Peace concert, which featured Bob Marley and the Wailers, Jacob Miller, Peter Tosh, and a host of other reggae acts at the National Stadium in April 1978. It was Marley's first performance in Jamaica since he embarked on a self-imposed exile after narrowly escaping with his life following a gun attack at his home. At the time, Marley was one of the biggest names in musician and respected by backers of the JLP and PNP. Yet even he was vulnerable to crime. He had lived in England for the past 14 months after being shot at his Hope Road home just 2 days before the December 5, 1976, Smile Jamaica Peace concert at National Heroes Park in Kingston. After meeting with Mossop and other enforcers in London, Marley decided he would end his exile and return to Jamaica on February 25 to a hero's welcome. However, when Mossop visited Peter Tosh to discuss about the concert with him, Peter was a bit skeptical about it. In fact, he told Mossop, "The only piece you're gonna get is 666, that is, the grave." On the other hand, Bunny was very concerned about doing a peace concert because he thought it would be commercial and wanted to talk to Bob first. After meeting with Marley at Hope Road, Bunny Wailer and Tosh agreed to be part of what was dubbed the One Love Peace concert. During the concert, Mossop and Marshall were called up on stage by the late Jacob Miller in a symbolic peace gesture. Marley also brought the house down when he invited Manley and Sega on stage in a historic move to call for peace between warring political factions. 8 months later, Massop's life would be snuffed out by policemen's bullets at the age of 31. Mossop died on February 4, 1979, after leaving a football match in Spanish Town involving the Tivoli Gardens Football Club. He was shot 40 times by police, along with 2 other men named Lloyd Fraser and Alfonso Trevor Tinson. Police reported that they signaled the vehicle to stop, and Mossop disembarked from the vehicle and fired 2 shots at them while they returned the fire. Thanks for watching, and do remember to subscribe. Give it a like and post a positive comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you again very soon for another video.
Many thanks for watching Reggae Just Extra with Ras Dennis.